It is Saturday, November 2nd, and welcome to a new episode of You Don't Watch Sports right here on the Feo Grande YouTube network. I am Bill Smith, and I am joined as always by the man, the myth, the legend, Feo Grande himself, Omari Ellis. Omari, how was your sports week, baby?
Hey, my sports week was pretty good, pretty solid. We ignore the Panthers at this point. So, yeah, it's pretty solid sports week.
All right, we're going to get into it because I got a big sports week this week. We cover three topics here on You Don't Watch Sports, just to sprinkle a little bit of sports information into your casual conversation as we are your guiding light through the sea that is sports talk. Topic number one, Omari, the World Series has concluded, and we need to congratulate the Los Angeles Dodgers winning 4-1 in what first looked like it was going to be an epic series matchup. Game one went down to the end and beyond as Freddie Freeman finished it off with a grand slam in the 10th inning. Game two in LA, the Dodgers seemed to be dominating. There was a struggle with the Yankees, who just were not putting in competitive at bats. Ended the game there in a heavy deficit, capped off by another Freddie Freeman home run. Then we went to New York, and the Dodgers played another great game, including, you guessed it, a Freddie Freeman home run. And then we had, where am I at now? Game four. Game four, the Yankees are down 3-0. They will go home if they lose at this point.
Yes, sir.
But you don't want to be swept.
No, never want to be swept.
and so the Yankees came out and they ended up getting the W in game four, despite having a Freddie Freeman home run. That's right. First 4 games of this World Series, Omari, Freddie Freeman, who came into this series with a broken ankle. We didn't even know if he was going to play. I believe I said at some point in these predictions that if Freddie Freeman doesn't play, this is the Yankees series.
Yeah, you said that before the start of the series.
He came in here and balled, Omari. He balled out. And then we find out after these games are done playing, fast forward to the end here, the man also had a broken rib and a broken finger. 4 games in a row with a home run this World Series, which is actually 6 World Series games in a row with a home run for Freddie Freeman, setting the all-time record. It's the last 2 games of the last World Series that he was in with the Atlanta Braves, where he also won them. The last 2 games of that series, he hit home runs. So that's 6 World Series games in a row. Freddie Freeman hits home runs. In the 5th game, he also had a 2 RBI double and multiple times on base. That is your World Series MVP,
so
Freddie Freeman.
5 games. I thought it was
yes,
a
it
sweep.
did.
Oh
no,
okay.
the Yankees did win Game 4. They got that one out and actually won in dominating fashion. Gave New York a lot of hope. It's really funny how baseball works because you can very easily start doing the math in your head of like, oh well, hold on now. 4 games in a row isn't that 4 is actually a really small number when you think about it. We just have to win 4 games. Lots of the Chicago White Sox this season won 4 games in a row. They set the all-time record for losses in a season this year. And they won 4 games in a row. It can easily be done. Sure, nobody has ever done it in the World Series, but we could do it because 4 is just such a small number. Also, Shohei Ohtani pulled his shoulder out of socket in game 2, and he's a shell of himself, which is kind of true. Shohei Ohtani had some strong performances earlier in the postseason, and then he had a good appearance in game 1. But after his shoulder injury, he was not putting in competitive at bats really. And
which makes sense because
right. Yeah, it's a very, very big part of the things you do. So they had Shohei neutralized. The very interesting stat that a friend of mine sent me actually that I'm just now thinking about that I'd like to bring up. Okay. So, in this World Series, obviously the Yankees had one win and the Dodgers had four.
All right.
The Yankees had 24 runs across this World Series. The Dodgers had 25. Very close on runs. Batting average, the Yankees had 212 batting average,
Oh, that's not bad.
but they held the Dodgers to a 206 batting average. Home runs, the Yankees had 9 home runs, but they held the Dodgers to 7 home runs. Average with runners in scoring position, the Yankees batted 200 and they held the Dodgers to a 184 batting average. They performed they did what they wanted to do from a perspective of stamping down the Dodgers, but problem one, they couldn't perform offensively early in the series. And then towards the end of the series, when they could perform offensively, they mitigated that with bad defense and bad mental errors, capped off with inning number 5 of game 5, the game that the Yankees would go to lose and declare the Dodgers World Series champions. Inning 5 will go down in history as maybe one of the worst innings of baseball played in the history of baseball postseasons, particularly, especially World Series.
Well, damn. I've heard
It
some
is.
people who've had like legacy-defining
It is.
flops in the World Series.
It included 3 errors by the Yankees and a host of other mental mistakes that caused 5 unearned runs, which means all 5 runs are cannot be contributed to the pitcher. They're all just because errors and missed plays by the fielding staff. Um, 5 unearned runs to take a 5-0 game that the Yankees were currently winning in the 5th inning and make it a 5-5 tie
game.
where the Dodgers will go on to win the game.
It's that Skip Bayless or Reggie Miller.
It was absolutely a choke. And it will go down in history, and the Yankees fans are not. But, enough about the Yankees. The Dodgers are the World Series champions, and we have to congratulate them. Obviously, like I mentioned, World Series MVP performances from Freddie Freeman. This is the 3rd World Series championship for the great Mookie Betts we love here on this channel. This is the first World Series championship for Shohei Ohtani after his very first postseason appearance. 1 postseason appearance, 1 world championship.
Yeah,
so he's going pretty good with that average.
Post about that yesterday. I was like, okay, good shit, Shohei.
And shout out to 2 former Cardinals, Jack Flaherty and Tommy Edman. Tommy Edman was just traded to the Dodgers this season, and now he is a World Series champion. Jack Flaherty was a pitcher for us last year, and many years before that, he started with the St. Louis Cardinals, and he is now a World Series champion. So congratulations to them as a St. Louis boy. Omari, let's move on to next week we'll check in with everything to look forward to for the off season, who our big free agents are. All of that is going to be coming here in the coming weeks. But right now, let's move on to topic number 2, Omari. We got some NFL news and notes.
Yeah, topic number 2, week 8 in the books. And yes, last Sunday was the 4th weekend of October. And you know what that means, Bill. And if you don't, I'll tell you, it's National Tight Ends Day. I didn't know this was a thing until this past weekend. I'm going to be honest with you, but apparently it started based off of a joke from George Kittle in 2018, and eventually the NFL was like, why not? Let's start calling the 4th Sunday in October Tight Ends Day. And boy, was it aptly named this past Sunday on the 27th of October, because tight ends and the NFL banded together and they were breaking records all over around. Pretty much 13 different tight ends found the end zone, got touchdowns last week. There were only 5 games that didn't have a tight end scoring a touchdown in them. There was like 177 passes caught by the tight ends, breaking the record for receptions by the position on a single day. And they combined for 16 total touchdowns, which is also the most by a singles position or by that position in a single day.
What the? What?
So it's like the quarterbacks and coaches just decided, let's play into this and base our entire offenses around the fucking tight ends today.
So the running backs and the wide receivers are currently scrambling to try and get national running back days and national wide receiver days, I would assume.
I would. I'd be like, okay, where's our day? Where's running back day? Just
Right.
But yeah, also on that day, there were some really good games going around, including a thriller in DC, Washington versus the Bears. Number one or first overall picked quarterback this year versus the second overall picked quarterback this year. Caleb Williams versus Jaden Daniels. And boy, that was a game that came down to the wire. The Bears pulling a comeback victory. All they had to do was get one final stop, a Hail Mary into the end zone, where the defenders for the Bears, one of them who started the play because it was like 3 seconds left on the clock, and if the play failed, it was over. So he's just like taunting the fans in the audience as the ball gets hiked, and he's like, oh shit, the play's going on. And he runs over to where the Hail Mary goes, gets up just in time to block it and knock it into a Washington receiver's hands. Washington wins, touchdown.
Yeah, I've seen videos that this is apparently the moment to cement this young quarterback into the fan base's hearts. Apparently, I saw a lot of grown men crying from this play this past weekend. So yeah, what's his name again?
Which one?
Quarterback for Commanders.
I want to say Jaden Daniels.
Okay,
Definitely Daniels. Let me get it right though.
It seems he's he's given them something to believe in.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels. I was right. Yes, he has. The Commanders are going strong this season. They have not lost many games, and I had heard some Bears fans talking about how they kind of wish they would have gotten him instead of Caleb Williams, despite the fact that the Bears are having a lot of success this season. And yeah, it took a Bears defender knocking the ball into a Washington receiver's hands for the Bears to lose that game. I think both teams came out great with their quarterback selections for the teams that they have built. That's what I will say in that regard. Also in the NFL this past weekend, Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson both got to start up in the AFC North. They got to start some games for the season and both pulled off victories. Russell Wilson, black and gold, here we go, or whatever he says now instead of like Broncos country, let's ride. He's Mr. Unlimited. He's got to have something corny going on. It's Russell Wilson. That's why we love him. But he won his game. Jameis Winston, huh? You say we do? Question mark. Fair enough. I'm kind of mad at him for losing that one Super Bowl to the Patriots. I'm not gonna lie, but the overall,
he just had to have the ball.
Just had to. I like beast mode though. Marshawn Lynch, I do like, and I'll stand on that one. Also, meanwhile, the Detroit Lions, let me tell you, these past 4 games, this is a new Lions team. They are winning, and they are winning in, like, hard fashion for the most part. They beat the Seahawks, who I just mentioned a second ago, 42-29 a couple weeks ago. Then follow it up by beating the Lions 47-9. Then they have a close game against the Vikings, 31-29, and then follow it up by devouring the Titans, 52-14. That was the true attack on Titans, and this one the Titans get eaten. Like It was not good. They are going strong, and I mean, they got a division rivalry thing this weekend against the Packers, who are also looking strong. The NFC North, all four teams, even the Bears. That's right, I'm saying it. Even the Bears, all four teams,
Yep.
scary teams.
Okay, Omari. Neither of us have any allegiances necessarily to any of those. Let's pick the show's NFC North team right now. I think I vote the Lions. We've talked about them multiple weeks now.
I want to say the show's team, I'm going to go with the Lions. I have a bit of bias toward the Bears. I'm not from Chicago, though.
Oh, you do. We do
Bears
have a
get
little
some
bit of
success.
biases to the team. That's right. That's right.
But
You have close friends that are diehard Bears fans.
yes, so I can't entirely go against them. But I mean, if we're talking
I can.
about
Fuck Chicago.
if we're talking about see, that's the thing. I don't like the Cubs, but I don't really care about the other Chicago teams. They don't directly interact with my teams.
The Blackhawks do.
Do they?
They're them and the Red Wings are probably our strongest rivals as Blues fans.
Oh, they're in the division with us?
I mean, come on now. Don't be
Okay.
putting my hockey knowledge on blast like that. I can tell you that I can tell you I can tell I mean, but it's just living in St. Louis. We have
Oh yeah, they live.
we have a very controversial holiday called Punch a Blackhawks fan in the face day. We also have Punch a Red Wings fan in the face day.
I haven't been home in a minute.
It doesn't actually happen. It's just like we just like to say it.
Yeah, I just didn't know that was. Fair enough. Fuck the Blackhawks then, and obviously the Red Wings. They're like the Yankees of hockey. Fuck them. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, sure. Let's go Lions. Eternal underdog, those Lions, and I want to see them get some success. I would love it if the NFC Championship was somehow Bears Lions, but I don't think that's even possible. So there we go.
Well, maybe through like wild cards and then seedings. I have to imagine it's possible.
Maybe. I think usually we'll find out, won't we? This year. Let's go. But that's my football topics pretty much.
All right. Let's move on to topic number 3, Omar, because happening in just a matter of minutes is going to be WWE Crown Jewel 2024 coming from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And we are going to run through these matches and give our predictions.
All right.
Let's start with one of our non-title matches here. We have Seth Rollins coming back from injury, facing big Bronson Reed, the guy who put him on the shelf with 6 tsunamis in a row. Omari, what do you think's going to happen here?
All right. Has Bronson Reed lost to anybody recently?
Yes, he lost to Bronson. He lost to Braun Strowman in a Last Monster.
Interfered and stopped him.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna go Seth, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bronson. But I'm gonna go Seth.
I am gonna go with Bronson here. I think this is going to be at least a duet, maybe a trilogy of matches. Where Seth can get this win back, even though it is his first thing back from injury. I think this program is meant to truly put Bronson Reed in the main event world heavyweight title scene. I think they're skipping him directly over the mid-card title scene, and I think at the end of this feud, they want him to be in that challenger realm.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna go Bronson Reed with the victory here, so they can run it back and Seth can get that win back.
Okay.
Um, okay, second singles non-title match. We have Randy Orton going against Kevin Owens after in Kevin Owens' eyes, Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes betrayed him for the first time.
Of course.
Um,
Naturally.
uh, normally Kevin Owens is the betrayer, and this is kind of what Triple H, Randy Orton had a segment in the ring. Triple H kind of, normally Kevin Owens is the betrayer, and this time he's looking at this as though you've betrayed him, and he's a different man. There's something different in his eyes. So I think that we're going to have Kevin Owens win this match. I think we need this to set up Kevin Owens challenging Cody Rhodes here in the very near future.
I like that idea, and I can get behind that. Yeah, especially if we're getting those whole "this is a change man" thing. I love how they betrayed him, because that's pretty much always how Kevin Owens feels. He'll do the betray. He's like, no, 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 you did this to me first. You did it to me.
Yeah.
So
The two of them are
ago.
Cody working with Roman, and then Randy Orton not beating up Cody with Kevin. Are the two of them betraying him?
Of course.
Let's go to we have the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship is on the line, Omari, in a fatal four-way tag match. You have the champions, the Power Buff Girls, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. You have
Tell me that's what they actually call themselves.
that's what the internet calls them.
I'm fine with that.
We have Damage Control of Io Sky and Kairi Sane. We have Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. And then we have Lash Legend. And I'm sorry, I don't remember the other girl's name from Metaphor. They are an NXT team that it seems like they're getting the bump. They're getting the bump up in a we're not formally drafting you thing. It's just kind of like, hey, it's been 2 months and you haven't appeared on NXT and you keep appearing on SmackDown. You're a SmackDown person now, kind of thing. So what do you think's happening here, Omar?
I want the Power Buff Girls to win, because again, I'm for those of you who are unfamiliar with me in the show, sometimes I like the domination teams. However, I am also fully aware fatal four-way matches are made for BS reasons so that Power Buff Girl type teams can lose. So I don't see them losing this. I'm not gonna lie. As much as I would like the Hikari Warriors, or whatever they're called, Io and Kyrie.
Damage Control, yeah.
Oh, they're just Damage Control?
They're still Damage Control, yeah.
Okay, so Damage Control. As much as I like them, and I think the NXT girls are gonna rub. I think your girl Chelsea comes away with the victory. Her and Piper.
Yeah.
Some BS shenanigans.
Honestly, yeah, I like that. So here's what I also think it's a somebody else gets pinned and the Powerbuff Girls lose their titles. As we spoke earlier on the situation with Rhea Ripley, this is me thinking way too much into it, but I think both of these women need to be in the singles main title scene.
Yeah.
And I think it's time to do that. So I am predicting them to not have these belts after this match. My head says it's going to be Damage Control, but my heart wants Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. So my formal prediction will be Damage Control. Yeah. Okay. Moving on to the United States Championship match, Omari. We have Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes versus the champion LA Knight. Yeah. in a triple threat match. Omari, I am going to say it right here and right now. I don't think I like LA Knight.
To
I'm
win this
sorry.
match or at
Uh,
all?
not a, I mean, I don't know if at all is the right phrasing, but
Fair.
I'm just not, me. Um, I would like this championship to be won by Carmelo Hayes in this match.
Car-
And so that's going to be my prediction and what I want.
Carmelo
Um,
is who I'm least familiar with in this match. I'm aware of his existence. I know he's put on some amazing matches. I've seen some highlights, but as
uh-huh.
far as like watching him and knowing what the character is and blah blah blah, I technically know more about LA Knight. But I'm kind of with you, where I'm kind of whatever on LA Knight. I like the LA Knight gimmick, yeah, but much like other people, that the crowd just clearly this works. I I don't know why it's that crazy. That said, I don't see it. I see Andrade here just to lose. I've always been somewhat of a fan of Andrade, but I don't see him winning this. I think they're giving it to Carmelo, a star is born type stuff, or a star reaches the next level type deal.
Yeah. You could all, I'd be okay with it also going to Andrade. I mean, either way, I think one of the two of them will be winning, and then they'll be each other's first singles feud for the belt. Um, Maybe they throw LA up into the main event scene because it is pretty light on SmackDown right now on both sides of the card, which is why I think Bianca and Jade need to be released from these tag titles. It's just that they don't have a lot of competition in the main event, especially on the men's side, that isn't a bloodline member or already friends with Cody. You're kind of limited, and so maybe they throw him up there. We'll see. Let's go into the six-man tag match of Bloodline versus Bloodline. You have the reunited Jay and Jimmy and Roman versus the new Bloodline of Solo Sikoa, Tonga Loa, Tamatanga, Jacob Fatu. It's going to be a combination of one of the three of those four guys. We probably won't know until the moment they all stand up on the ring, or if Tongaloa comes out in a suit, we'll know that he's the manager for the match. But Jacob Fatu could sit on the sideline just to be the one that gets involved
Yeah.
and closes out the match by getting involved somehow. So I'll run my prediction first. I think New Bloodline wins this, so we can get to War Games and Survivor Series.
Yeah, I'm surprised this is happening so early in the Bloodline versus Bloodline and there's no Rock involved. That said, because of that, I definitely have heel Bloodline winning. Also, because one thing we know about the Bloodline is numbers game. That's what they do. They got more one bloodline on the other. Yeah, they got the tribal chief, the OTC, the big dog, Roman Reigns on the side of the good bloodline. But he's been jumped a few times, which is why he had to go get the Usos.
Yeah.
So,
And on their side they have Jacob Fatu, which right
yeah.
now we don't know the level of that dude that they're going to portray him to be. Like he hasn't had enough match. We know he is. They are building him to be one of those dudes. He could be on the par of a Roman.
Yeah.
He could be balancing the scales of the OTC effect just in himself. So we don't know. They're depicting him to be very, very powerful. Um, all right. So we got that one in the books. Let's go to our two crown jewel champions, Omari. This is a champion versus champion. No belts are on the line except for the new crown jewel belt that declares them the crown jewel champion.
Okay, so it's like the greatest Royal Rumble winner. It'll
Yeah,
never be mentioned again
it's
after
something
this.
that Saudi Arabia wanted to have happen. So it's happening. Um, let's go with the women's title matches first. Liv Morgan, our world, our women's world champion, versus Nia Jax, our WWE women's champion. Um, who do you think's winning this match?
Uh Liv's got
You,
Raquel Rodriguez with her, right?
correct. And Nia Jax has Tiffany.
Yeah. I think Nia wins this and Tiffy cashes in.
On Nia or on Liv?
Well, if she can cash in on, well, I don't think she cashes in on Liv because I think what's her name will be able to,
Prevent that.
yeah. I think she cashes in on Nia and finally like reveals the traitor. Like I think what's her name gets. I think Raquel gets involved doing the big damage needed to someone like Nia to be that equalizing factor to make it more real. Well, Tiffy's strong too, to my knowledge, or at
Hmm.
least got like a buff frame to her.
Yeah,
Um, Bigger than Liv Morgan at least.
absolutely.
Yeah. So it's like the combination of all of everything that happens. I think Nia's left vulnerable enough for it to be Tiffy time at last.
It's Tiffy time.
Because it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. I think that sounds pretty plausible. I might agree with you 100% on that one. Um, Interesting wrinkle. If Tiffy does a Seth Rollins,
It enters herself into the match.
how does that work? Because neither belt was previously on the line, but now are both belts on the line? Then is somebody winning,
Now
or
able to win
does
all
she
three because she
inadvertently
turns it into a match.
cash herself in for the Crown Jewel Championship? And like she gets the pin and then they hand her the Crown Jewel belt only.
That'd be a great way for the first failure of the women's Money in the Bank cash in to where it's technically a success, but it's a title no one gives a shit about and will never be mentioned again.
Right, that she can't like defend or
Or better
can't be
yet,
challenged against.
yeah, and then she tells like Nia, no, now see, now we're both champions.
It's
Ah! And then they play this thing a bit longer.
just an interesting wrinkle. I don't know how that would happen or how they could how that would work. What they would decide would be the rules of that match if she were to cash in on it, which probably means it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Let's go to the men's side of things. The WWE Crown Jewel champion is going to be our men's world heavyweight champion, Gunther, which the other day, one of the commentators said Gunther. And I was like, oh, bro, what? Don't say Gunther. Gunther. No, it's Gunther. Um, uh,
The ring general.
versus the undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes. Omari, because of this match, if Cody Rhodes doesn't win it, can you even say the undisputed WWE champion anymore? Does he have to be reduced to WWE champion?
Yeah, I'm about to say there's a dispute. Like it's
I think there's a very clear dispute.
and his name is Gunther. That said, I do think Cody wins this because he hasn't lost but like 3 times in the last 4 years or some shit. Gunther is powerful, but he's capable of losing, as he lost this year at WrestleMania. And it's a way that Gunther can lose, but keep his belt so he still looks strong. Cody still looks like the Demon Slayer, Cody, Superman, by slaying the beast and winning this title, and both people walk away. And like you said, there's no dispute. He is indeed the title dude. That said, I'm rooting for Gunther for reasons of like keep the streak going, and two, fantasy wrestling
points.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm rooting for Cody the same way, but I'm also thinking that I think I think after his defeat of Randy earlier in the night, Kevin Owens may figure a way into this match to get himself involved and cause Cody Rhodes a unclean loss on his record, which he is okay doing about 3 times a year, it seems, at this rate of getting pinned in a tag match or getting pinned in a clear what should have been a DQ distraction or involvement from third party or something.
Yeah.
He will eat those pins very rarely in a year. This could be one of them. Could be given the rub to Gunther on this one today, but we'll see.
Yeah.
And that wraps up all of our match predictions for WWE Crown Jewel. Omari, if they want to find us on different things, talking about different things, where
Yes.
can they find us?
Well, they can find us here on this channel. On Mondays, we have an aforementioned show, Mock the Draft, where we draft some things back and forth for now, including the aforementioned Fantasy Wrestling League we got going on between the two of us.
Absolutely. We're going to have a check-in coming up very soon after Survivor Series. We'll be looking at our points accumulated and also shuffling our rosters a little bit to get ready for the Royal Rumble.
Indeed. We also got on Tuesdays, we have a show called This Guy Hasn't Seen. The two of us watching some various medias back and forth, be it movie, anime, etc., documentaries. It's good time, help broaden our horizons of the things that we watch on, week to week basis. And just, further enrich our experiences in life. Also on Wednesdays, there's the Whatever We Want podcast. Good friend of mine, good friend of the show, Super Jazz.
Super Jazz.
Thank you very much. As nature intended, we talk about just that, whatever we want. And yeah, on Saturdays, obviously, you got this show here on the channel. I personally also have a Twitter and Twitch at Giotavi. That is Giotavi. Come on in, stop on by. Streaming every day. Yes, indeedy. Bill, you got anything else you want to say to the folks?
Nope.
All right. Well, guys, thank you very much. We'll see you next week. You have a good one. Adiosness.